Before I start with my presentation, let me share a poem with y'all that I think is very powerful, especially in today. Happy Disability Pride Month. How many of you know that? Woo-hoo! Right? Okay. So here's a poem. Want a race? Don't run me over. Watch out for the wheelchair, lady. Do you have a license for that thing? Still, I am proud. Can she walk? What happened to her? The wheelchair's in the way. Stop saying disabled. Your specialty able. Still, I am proud. Getting a ramp is too expensive. You can't come because the venue has steps. The bathroom is too small for your wheelchair, so you have to hold it. You can't get around the back through the service entrance, past the garage. Still, I am proud. We can't help you over the subway gap. There are no accessible Ubers or taxi services. By the way, there's no accessible public transportation. Oops. We broke your wheelchair while we were getting it off the plane. Still, I am proud. We don't have a budget to pay you. We don't care that you're fighting for survival. We aren't interested in including you in social justice. We aren't concerned about predicting your basic human rights. Still, I am proud. You're a fire hazard. You're not having kids, right? You wouldn't want to live, I wouldn't want to live my life in a wheelchair. I don't know how you get around or out of bed in the morning. Still, it is a Disability Pride Month, and we should all be proud. This was written by a woman called Emily Ladau. It's not mine, but it's powerful. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Ana Calvo. I was born with my disability. I am 44 years old. I was born in a tiny little country called El Salvador in Central America. My parents came to the US when I was 1.5 years old because the doctors were telling my parents that there was no future for me and I wouldn't live. First pass a week, then pass a month, then pass a year. I was meeting all my milestones. I was thriving. My grandfather, my parents saw that I could do more. So we came to the United States. My grandfather was a Grand Mason, and he asked his brothers to help. We came straight to Shriners Hospital. The first question my mother asked was, is she normal? And they told her she'll be as normal as you allow her to be. She will achieve as much as you allow her to achieve. She will be as disabled as you allow her to be. So my parents did understand that with my limitations, and we'll go further about that, but that's part of my story. I am the current program director here at Houston Community College, a program that has been in existence over 35 years called VAST Academy. It was created by a woman called Sue Maraska, and about 12 years ago, we got a Department of Education grant, and she brought me on, and that's when my journey started with IDD. I've always worked with people with disabilities. People with disabilities are my reason. I am a person with a disability, so I enjoy my job, and it's what I do. So this is my mother and I when I was maybe 7, 8 months old, February 16th, 1979. My mom says that this picture is very important because this is when I wanted to start sitting up on my own. And I still didn't have the ability, the trunk support to do it. So she was like, how do we do this? how do we figure it out? So she kind of laid there and she propped me against herself. And she's like, okay, we got this, baby. We can do this. I do believe, and my parents always believed, that there was a time for me to play and a time for me to do chores and participate. And I had expectations. Oops, I don't want to drop this. I had expectations just like everybody else, right? My brother had chores. I had chores. He had to take out the garbage. I had to, clean something around the house. That picture with me cleaning is probably not the best thing now in 2022, an open box fan, but I'm a child of the 80s, okay? Right? And then time to play. My parents always made sure that I had other children around me, that I could play. I could involve myself with other ones. They didn't keep me at home. They didn't keep me behind closed doors. They said, go, run. I am still best friends with the two little kids that are on that car. She's like my sister. Prosthetics, I have done prosthetics. I tried them. I did them from the age of 5 to the age of about 12. They weren't me. I didn't like them. They were restricting for me. I like to feel, I'm very tactile. Sometimes I feel like after working with people on the spectrum, I feel like maybe I have some of it too. I'm very tactile. I like to feel things. I like to know where things are and stuff. And I can't do that with prosthetics. I felt very robotic. And I kind of wanted a hand to work like your hand does. And I felt like my arms did what needed to be. My therapist at the time said, sure, we'll let you not have prosthetics, but you got to show me that, you can brush your teeth, you can brush your hair, you can grab things, you can feed yourself, you can do some of the basic need stuff before you can make that decision. And they asked my parents, are you okay with it? And my parents like, she doesn't want it. She fights us at home. And so we sat there and we figured it out. I did keep a prosthetic. How many of you are from Houston? Okay. How many of you grew up in the 80s here? How many of you remember Astroworld? Okay, so Astroworld had a policy where you needed an arm or a leg to ride the ride. They didn't care whether it was fake or real, you just needed it. And so I asked my doctors and the processes, can we just keep one up to maybe the age of 18? Now, when you were a kid here, you lived at Astroworld. Your parents would dump you at Astroworld. And that was the babysitting, okay, guys? And then pick you up at the end of the day, right? And so, my parents were like, okay, and I wanted to ride the rides. But, you would go up to the ride and they say, you need an arm or a leg. And at first I was like, darn. And then the next time I was like, let me bring my prosthetic and let's see if that works. And they were like, okay, sure. And of course, it was like another 15-year-old kid making this decision, right? It was no adult. So if I flew off this would never fly now, guys. If I flew off the ride then, we were 80s, okay? If I flew off the ride then, they wouldn't care. I mean, then you would hear it on the news, woman flies off the ride, kid, But this is why I kept a prosthetic. Will I try it now? Do I see a need for it? I don't know. I've gone to conferences lately where I see the technology better. But again, I like to feel, I like to hold, I like to do. And I feel like I can do most things without it. So that's my spiel. I am a big sister. I have a brother. We are 10 years apart. I feel like I was enough of a bug that my mother waited 10 years. But, it was hard for our family and my brother too, to sometimes figure out and deal with a sister who had a disability and looked different, right? When his friends would say, well, what's wrong with your sister? And what's going on and stuff. We had to kind of prepare him and help him through some of those difficult situations. My parents also had to make time, right? When you have a kid who doesn't have a complex medical disability and you have another one who does, and is in and out of the hospitals, I have had over 13 surgeries in my life. I've had stump revisions. I have a portacath. I've had other complications. And so, how do you make sure that you are dedicating enough time to both children and one doesn't feel left out, right? And so my parents were conflicted with some of that, but the way they try to work around it was, they always gave him 1 day a week where Anna was not involved. Anna could not come. Anna had to stay wherever she was, home with dad, with aunts, with somebody. But this was Ralph and their time. Mom time, maybe they split, maybe it was mom and him, maybe it was dad and him, sometimes it was both, but that way they tried to help that. Now, I'm an aunt of a beautiful, now he's a year and 10 months. He was much younger in that picture, but it's pretty recent. And so we're trying to relearn also, and my brother's now navigating and finding out. He's like, how do I show him you? Because he's noticing, and he sees his little arms, and he looks at me, and he'll go, And I'm like, no, not there. Kids will come up to me and say, what happened? Kind of like that poem, right? Oh my God! What's going on? I had a really good experience earlier today, though, across at your hotel with some of your little ones. They saw me and they're like, how do you move that thing? I love kids. One of my answers is, we're just made different, right? Some of us are tall, some of us are short, some of us are skinny, some of us are fat. I'm made different. Most kids are like, oh, okay, I get it. My Aunt Sue is a little fat, and my, right? Yes, exactly. Some kids want to go further. Does it hurt? Yeah. Sometimes, now that I'm getting older, but snap, crackle, and pop is not just your cereal anymore, right? Aging with a disability is a whole different ballgame, guys. And so having to experience some of that. Yeah, it hurt sometimes when I had my surgeries. Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, it's hard traveling and thinking about, will my wheelchair be there? Are they going to break it? Will the hotel be accessible? Is the school that I'm applying to open? I was told by a counselor, not at a school, but different kind of counselor, you can't go to college. I have a master's in social work. I'm working on my doctorate. I went back to that woman. No, it's not worth it. You just show her your degree. There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for giving me the want to continue. Thank you. My biggest thing in life is education. Let's educate. Let's educate people. Let's educate people about our disability. Let's educate people of what we can do. Sometimes we don't just have to be out there and talking and telling in their face. Just do, guys. Educate by doing it. Educate by just showing and living. You don't know the looks I get when I pull up into a parking spot, especially my little old ladies. I love them. Because they look and they're like, at first they're sitting in their car and they're like, oh, she shouldn't be in there. What is she doing taking a parking spot? I've had people wait to see if I needed it. Then they see me pull out my ramp. They see me come out. And then they're like, wait, you were driving? Yeah. Yep. Educate, guys. Live. Do. Let's not hide. Let's be out there. Let's be proud. Disability pride, right? Show them. Till somebody tells you no, yes, do it. Somebody tells you you can't, do it. All right. My tribe. This is my tribe. My tribe are my friends. My tribe is my family. My tribe is my significant other. At one time or another, I'm single and ready to mingle. My tribe is my best friend. Go to your tribe. They understand you. They understand when you're having a bad day. They understand when you're having a good day, right? Parents, your tribe. You can't do it all alone. We try. I can't do it all alone. So part of my success of knowing about my disabilities is also knowing my limitations, right? I can't do it all alone. I need somebody in the morning to help me bathe and get me somewhat ready and presentable. I need someone in the evening to kind of get me ready for bed. That's my help. Becky just helped me at lunch. Thank you. Cutting up my food, but I wasn't afraid to ask. She helped me grab my food. I wasn't afraid to ask. Also know what works for you. Some people will try to ascribe something for you, right? Some people will say, no, this is better. If you do it this way, it's going to be better. But who's lived in your body? That person or you? My tribe has helped me through the hard times. I have sat there with my best friend who he sometimes is like, oh, Anna, if I could take this pain right now, I would give anything up. But, you know, he understands. And then he's with me when I say, I have this crazy idea. And what if we go on a cruise to the Bahamas? And he's like, I don't like boats. Do you know what happened to the Titanic? And I'm like, yeah, but that was the Titanic. Right? We've come a long way, guys. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, go ask so-and-so, they'll probably do it. He's like, I'll fly anywhere with you, but I won't do that. Okay, fine. Let's go to Europe. Let's go to Copenhagen. Let's go to Paris. All right, let's go. Let's do it. So I have my cruise friend. I have my overseas friend. I have my friend who she just wants to stay in Texas. She's not interested in getting a passport, especially now. She's like, I don't think so. My parents are pretty adventurous. So sometimes my mama is like, Mom, let's go. And it depends on the day. I gotta kind of feel her mood. Sometimes she's like, sure, let's go, let's do it. And sometimes she's like, Anna, I need at least 9 months before the next vacation. I work hard. I work pretty hard. I work long days, but I play hard too. These pictures are the top right is my best friend, my brother, two of my best friends, my brother and my sister-in-law. The other one was for my 40th birthday, and this is friends, family, the whole shebang. The whole shebang. Bottom right is my family, my brother, my sister-in-law, baby, and my parents. And then bottom left is my best friend going to a Mana concert and meeting Mana. So, yeah. Professional life. I work for Houston Community College, Vast Academy. I am a program director at Vast Academy. I've been with them over 12 years. I've seen the program develop, grow, change. We're constantly changing and seeing, and as just like medicine, education is constantly changing, and we're trying to evolve. Prior to Vast Academy, I worked at Shriners Hospital for Children for 7 years as the transition specialist. And also I was a secretary. Guys, in college, I had to work. First generation student in the US, I had to work. And so I was a secretary in care coordination at Shriners first, and then once I got my degree, a master's degree, I moved to transition specialist. My goal in life is to figure out what you can do. What's next? Prepare you. That's what I like to do professionally. I also like doing these kind of gigs. Okay? Because, again, what can you do? Show me, right? Show me. I'm a daredevil. How many of you have been to Camp for All here in Texas? Woohoo! I see one hand. Camp for All is a barrier-free camp in the state of Texas, close to Bluebell, Burton, Texas, where they make Bluebell. About 20 miles up, you got Camp for All. And the cabins are barrier-free. The bathrooms there are barrier-free. You can go canoeing, zip lining, rock climbing, archery, horseback riding. So it's for children up to the age of about 21. Sometimes they have open houses where they invite the community to see what they're doing. Sometimes they hold adult camps. Beautiful place to be. So I am a daredevil. I have the opportunity to do the zip line at Camp for All. Let me tell you a little bit about one of those pictures though. The one where you see me hanging halfway, I got stuck. I was stuck right there. So this was a bright idea that I had. They had an open house. Just my brother and I went. And I told my brother, I'm going to do the zip line, don't tell Mom. He's like, what? Yeah, I'm going to do the zip line, don't tell Mom or Dad. we'll tell them later, we'll show them the pictures. He was taking these pictures. He's always been kind of like my partner in crime. And so halfway through, I'm stuck, and they tell him, well, we're a little stuck. We'll get her down. And they kept yelling, are you okay? I'm fine. And I was just swinging. we're gonna get you there. I'm fine. So finally I was able to like go down. I didn't have enough trunk support to hold myself typically like you do a zip line, but they try to work with you. They try to give you that experience so that you feel it, right? I'm a daredevil. You're gonna find that about me. They also have this other really cool thing that it's kind of like you just drop, and then you swing. But anyways, water skiing. How many of you have heard of Houston Adaptive Aquatics? And here, I see a hand. So we have an adaptive aquatic program here in Houston where people with disabilities can water ski, can also go sailing with Houston Adaptive Aquatics. And so you too can do this, right? But you want to know my true love and why I really like to travel and where I really like to go? How many of you know about Bonaire and have been to Bonaire? I see. Okay. So how many of you know Aruba? Okay. Curacao? Okay. Then there's another little tiny island called Bonaire. Okay, it's called the ABC Islands. Diver's paradise. Been there. Done it. Love it. Say, Anna, let's go scuba. Let's go. Where are we going? What's my next goal? Where would I like to go? Barrier Reef. That's a bucket list. That's a bucket list. We'll get there, right? There are several accessible dive organizations, nonprofits across the U.S. that can make this possible. The one I usually go with is called Dive Heart. They're based out of Chicago. And so most of the dive buddies with Dive Hearts are, guess what? Navy SEALs. And they're being certified in adaptive scuba. So these guys already have the training on how to do some of the buddies and navigate you, right? I couldn't do it. I have to dive with two people. One who's always in my eyesight and checking and seeing, are you okay? Do you need something? I had ones where my goggles filled up and I couldn't see a thing. And we have signs. He has signs and I go, or I blink twice, I blink 3 times or whatever. We have signs. And so he saw that my goggles had filled and he was like, I gotta take them out. And we gotta put them back on. All right. We're about 60 feet under. You can't just come up. So I love that. The furthest I've gone is about 90, and that's because my doctor didn't want me to go further. But we were doing some ship explorations. I wanted to go further. My portacath, nobody has ever taken the portacath that deep. I also don't want to push it that far, okay? So that's part of what, I do. So 2010, I had the ability to be Miss Wilshire, Texas, and represent the state of Texas as Miss Wilshire, Texas. I ran that organization for 10 years. my I had to move it on. There's another woman who now runs it. I think she's off of San Marcos. In the state of Texas. So if you told me, do you know where Comanche, Texas is? I'll be like, been there. I went right by it. Oop. Amber alert. And so, been there. I always feel like be the change you want to see in the world by Mahatma Gandhi, right? We don't like something? Let's try to move for a policy. We don't agree with something? Let's see, again, educate, right? By doing. This doesn't work for you? Let's figure it out. This wheelchair, for example, came with this wonderful little cup holder. But the cup holder had this wonderful flaw that it would just fly off. And so, like right now, it would be in somebody's lap. And I asked my ATPs, the people who figure out what you need for your wheelchair, how can we lock this cup holder? And no, I don't know. Okay. So I was like, Dad, what have you done before? You know, I'm rough. I'm rough with my equipment, okay? And I'm like, how have you figured out how to keep my equipment in place and stuff? And he's like, double stick tape. Duct tape or double stick tape? All right, we double stick taped it. It's been on since. So that was my change. I went back to my ATP. I also went back to Quantum and said, your solution for your cup holder? Double stick tape. So this is my presentation. I like to be interactive. If we can have some questions and we can open it up. I'm not shy, as you all have noticed. You can ask me anything and everything.
Thank you for speaking. Me and my friend over there, we heard that you drive, correct?
Yes.
We're fascinated by that. Can you talk a little bit about your vehicle? Because so many of us in the audience have issues driving. So could you explain a little bit about the accommodations and how you're able to do that? Because we think that's amazing.
Definitely. I learned how to drive when I was about 25. I had to show Texas Vocational Rehab A that I had a job, so that they would pay for it. And secondly, that I could keep my job. And then that I needed transportation because public transportation in Houston isn't reliable. Neither is Metrolift. So there's this person in Texas, and I believe he goes to other states, that showed me how to drive. His name is Chad Stromat, and he's with Adaptive Rehab Driving or something like that, who showed me how to drive. I required 80 hours of adaptive training with my equipment. My equipment is called oh gosh. I had a blank. Senior moment, guys. It's a high modification. Everything is very electronic. There is a screen. So there's a picture, there's a video on YouTube about me driving. If you look it up, you can find it. That was some old equipment. That equipment was about 20 years ago. Since I've had it changed, and I'm getting ready to get new equipment because my equipment now is 10 years old. But everything is on top. There's a screen to my right where I can start my car. It's kind of like the push button technology now. I had that technology before you had it. It was mine. It's the push button start on my screen. And then I can do my blinkers and stuff with another digi. It goes by different digital tones, and I listen to it. I'm so used to it now that I know left, right, and stuff. I can do my windows with my screen. I can do my cruise control. wipers, several other options. My steering wheel is somehow, these are the driving genius, okay, is connected. My steering wheel is the size of a small plate, like your dessert plates. It's the size, and I only control it with my right arm. Okay, but it connects with the big steering wheel. So when I move right, you can see the big steering wheel move. When I move left, you can see, you can see that. And then my gas and my brake is a lever. You push to gas and you pull to brake. So rub your tummy and tap your head. Right? So now you see why I required 80 hours. I have a ramp on the right side, and then my floor is lowered on my van so I don't hit the head. There's no seat in the driver's seat. So I pull right up, and then I have an easy lock where it locks my wheelchair into that space. My seatbelt is already there. And so that's how I get around. Now I get off of, my record is clean. Okay, let's put it this way. My record is clean. I do like, I'm a daredevil, So, but my record is clean when the police officers sometimes come. They are not expecting the armless, legless woman to be driving. And so sometimes they're like, how do you drive that thing? And so I've only been stopped like maybe 3 times, and it's just been, I've been going to Dallas, or I've been going to, Abilene, Austin, or whatever, and, I've been just going. And so, there you go. Anyone else? Okay.
Yeah, hello. You had mentioned aging with disability. I think you meant, there are any particular challenges that you think you might be facing in the future, either physically or otherwise, that relate to aging?
Definitely. I do require more help now. I mean, we all get a little stiffer, right, as we get older. I was a lot more flexible when I was younger. I'm getting a little stiffer, so I'm requiring a little more help sometimes. Getting this part of clothing on, or doing this part, or, So that, my back, because I'm just trunk, right? And I do have really good trunk support, and so, but everything is in my back and my shoulders. And so my back, my spine is, they're starting to see deterioration in my spine. My hips hurt always. Yeah, and then, the normal women stuff we have to deal with sometimes. Those flashes are hot, right? Over here.
I first want to say God bless you.
Thank you.
I think you make us all want to be better people. I just want to know, we all have tough days. I'm sure you have tough days as well. What motivates you? What drives you to want to just keep going and be the best you could be?
That's a hard question. I don't dwell on the now. Okay? I allow myself, and that may be hard, okay? And maybe I need to work on some of that too. I don't allow myself to stay in that ugliness for a very long time. That's when you saw the tribe, right? Call your tribe. Say, I'm having a hard day. Let's go out. Let's do something. What motivates me? Depends. I love my job. I love serving the people I serve. IDD and Spectrum, people who are on the spectrum, oh my God, they're so cool. I deal with the most honest students and they're honest. So that's one of my drives. My other drive is, I want to see my nephew grow up. I want to see him have his family. I want to see, hopefully I have more nieces and nephews. I want to see them. There's so much in the world that I still want to explore and see and do. That's my drive.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.